Two's presentation on how to improve online education at Boise State University by David Corris, Billy Byrne, Leonard Bergson, and Whitney West. Now, what are the issues with online education? The first is allowing inexperienced students to enroll in these classes. The second is that there is no universal norm that instructors follow when it comes to the structure of the class. The third is time management, and the fourth is there's no student and instructor face-to-face interaction or communication. Now, when examining the first bullet point of inexperienced students, we see that students have never taken online classes in the past. They don't understand the commitment that these classes require. More specifically, the first year and the freshman year students. Also, inexperienced students don't understand the responsibility these classes require. You are your own manager. Manage your own time, and you have to make minutes are posted by their due dates. You don't have an instructor standing in front of you as you did in high school, constantly reminding you of assignment due dates and so forth. Also, you have to remain focused. At times, first-year students aren't as focused as the second, third, or fourth-year students. There are, however, exceptions to the rule, but typically this is what we run into. There are many distractions that get in the way that could dampen the success of a first-year student. The fourth is there's a lack of maturity. Like I said, exceptions to the rule, but when you take the maturity level of a first-year student and compare it to a third or fourth-year student, we see that there's always a difference in that category. And last but not least, students that have never taken online classes struggle with the technical side of classes. There was a survey conducted in Indiana State University, and it took 131 undergraduate students, freshmen students, and these students never had online experience taking online classes. And each and every one of them took online courses. And at the end of the semester, they were asked what was the hardest thing about this class. And 93% of them said that the technical side of the class was the hardest. If a student has never had any experience in this department, then we see that their online education and their online coursework will be really challenging. So the solution that we propose is allowing only second, third, and fourth-year students to enroll in online courses. Now, we don't want to exclude the first-year students. The first-year student wants to enroll in online education. He or she has to show previous success in these classes, previous success in taking online courses.
My name is Whitney, and I'm going to talk about the issue of inconsistency between online courses and attended classes. Some of the students we interviewed felt that they had more work assigned in an online course than they had in some of their regular classes. Time management became an issue due to what they felt was an inflated workload. Speaking with older online students, one of their biggest challenges was the additional software requirements. In a lot of online classes, there are requirements beyond just an internet connection. They include different software for submitting your homework or for creating presentations that otherwise wouldn't be needed in a traditional classroom. Here are a few suggestions. First, in order to verify equal workload requirements, the University Academics Department should be verifying consistency between online and traditional classes on a regular basis. Students shouldn't be punished for using the convenience of online courses. Another possible solution to this issue is to include a link to the latest copy of the syllabus right in the course catalog. This way, students can get an idea of what the true workload is for the class and whether or not they will be able to handle it. This isn't specific to online courses. Better enrollment decisions can be made when a truer picture of workload is presented to potential students. In the case of the additional software requirements, a local source for help would be beneficial. Perhaps the campus help desk can be used for this, if this is within their scope of responsibility. Another suggestion might be to have a so those who need help can reference it. This may also mean not offering a lot of choices of software programs for certain assignments. It would be helpful if the instructor could pick one tried and proven method and make sure the students have access to help when they need it.
My name is Kelly. I'm going to cover the time management aspect of how online learning can be improved. Students who struggle with traditional coursework typically struggle with the time commitment required for online classwork. Most students don't recognize that they will have to schedule a time to read assignments and complete tests that you would normally take in a class in a traditional setting. Group activities and projects are typically required in course as part of a course responsibility, and students must often communicate with peers electronically and collaborate on that work. They procrastinate or avoid tasks that must be accomplished, and that is a symbol of poor time management. Such behaviors have many causes, including fear of failure, lack of motivation, and unclear priorities, and can encourage students to do fun things, go out and be with their friends, and rather than focus on their studies. Research finds that only active and self-disciplined learners typically succeed in online learning. Among the current and former online students that we interviewed as a group, most pointed to time management issues causing problems with their online courses. They stated that online classes didn't balance the course load the way that traditional classroom settings did. Many felt they lost precious homework time waiting for answers or responses from instructors or other students. Students sometimes made the mistake of assuming online classes would require less time and effort than traditional classes. However, those significantly higher amount of work required for an online class, disproving that misconception of online learning. One of the things that can make time management in online learning more difficult is students' inability to stay on task. Just logging into the internet itself opens a multitude of doors for distraction and tests the focus and study habits of an article addressing the challenges of online learning from a faculty perspective. Even faculty notes that time management is a concern for instructors and most definitely for the students. These distractions come in addition to work and family and other social commitments like Facebook and YouTube and Snapchat and other various forms of social media, cause an even bigger challenge if they're readily available while studying. The best way that we felt we could handle this going into a resolution was self-discipline. Self-discipline and motivation are key obstacles when it comes to time management and online education. The approach cannot be one of poor planning on the student's part. You must have a strategy to success when approaching an online class. Prioritize, schedule, and have self-discipline. Those are just some of the ways to succeed in online learning. It is important that students set a schedule and treat it like traditional learning. A block of time set aside each day to check in and do coursework just as traditional classes would require. Students need to stay organized and have a planner or a mobile app to assist with what's coming due and classwork that's expected. They need to find a place conducive to their study needs, such as somewhere quiet, and turn off unnecessary technology and communications for the purpose of focus. Most important, students need to feel comfortable communicating with the instructor. Falls able to go to the instructor and ask for help, of course, becomes unsolvable.
My name is Tanner Berkson, and I'm going to talk to you about student interaction. Interaction between student and the professor has declined due to the absence of face-to-face communication. In the classroom, it is important for students and professors to engage in discussions to improve the learning process.
Many students that we've talked to believe that there's no efficient method to using this. Since going online, everything is resorted to using email. Many students have also claimed that they've had to wait a full 24 hours before the professor responded to what they asked. Also, students believe that they are getting canned responses personal anymore, and it's all just overlaid. When we asked students about a solution to some of these problems, many of them said that they wish the instructor was a little more personal and tried to engage in the students. Students also said that they would be willing to have a meeting online